Hey again, guys. I thought it would be fun to look back. I'm going to read an article to you. This will be a little bedtime story. But back in 2004, I wrote an article for Sports Collectors Digest, collecting on the web. And it's entitled Common Sense Can Help Avoid Troubles on eBay. Now, I haven't read this article since 2004, so I thought it would be fun to read it and see what I had to say, what my thoughts were at that time, because I have a feeling that the same issues I was talking about then probably are now too. So this is a little old sports card bedtime story, maybe. Let me put on my glasses. I'm kind of interesting to read this. I have been buying and selling on eBay for the past 3 years, and I've learned a lot in that time. I have been frustrated with unethical sellers and the occasional scam artist, as well as delighted with some outstanding purchases and pleasant experiences. eBay can be fun and productive, or it can be disappointing and disheartening. Anyone can set up shop and be in business within minutes. Therefore, there are certain pitfalls we need to avoid as collectors. Anyone who's browsed the card sections of eBay has undoubtedly been confused and frustrated from time to time. Good examples are all of those listings with headings like attic find, my wife's my wife's a hag. Those were actual headings that people would do because they would say their wife were making them sell their cards. My wife's a hag. That was an actual listing. My husband had a heart attack. Those were common too. Or my favorite, my wife wants breast implants. Equally frustrating is scanning the vintage card listings and finding tons of those Dover reprints perforated cards when you're looking for true vintage cards. Or how about all of those old paper cutouts in screw-down holders listed as graded? Some sellers choose to stamp a regular old common card with a one-of-one stamp and sell them as such. Others list a card as a graded one-of-one, even though they state in the description there are 3 others graded that high. Still others describe a card as one-of-one that's numbered 50 of 50. In that sense, there are 49 other one-of-ones for that same card. We see attic finds only to discover last year's game-used cards. Now, there can't be too many people who put last year's cards in their attic only to be surprised to discover them a year later. I guess I still had I had my sarcasm back then too. We see listings for my grandfather's card collection, describing them as being found in an old cigar box with cards from the 80s. And a few terrible reprints. It is frustrating not only because these sellers are misleading us, but because we have to click on far more auctions to find what we're really looking for. And the thing that's most amazing to me is people actually buy from these sellers. I saw one seller listing virtually every rare card that ever existed. They were, of course, ungraded and in great condition. And most disturbing was the hundreds of dollars worth of bids on these cards. If a seller has this many non-graded rare gems, you can bet the house they are reprints. I actually reported this seller to eBay, and his items were removed shortly after. We see huge card lot offerings, a Michael Jordan rookie card or a Wayne Gretzky rookie card, and the seller stating they appear to be real, but offering no guarantee or return. In fact, there are many listings of vintage cards being sold as is. Some collectors gobble these up in the hopes of obtaining a great card for a great price. Others stay away and feel that they didn't allow themselves to get sucked into the excitement of owning a card they couldn't otherwise possess. We see 1953 and 54 archives cards listed as original. We see those 1928 Babe Ruth Frojoy cards in color being pawned off as authentic, even though those cards were only issued in black and white. And many people think they can get away with selling reprinted Honus Wagner T206 cards. The pages are filled with old reprints, beat up, wrinkled, and dirtied up in an attempt to make them look old. Here are some rules for buying and selling on eBay. Always check the seller's feedback and not just the percentage of positive feedback, but actually read the comments other buyers have left. Check out the seller's other items. If the seller specializes in non-card related items, they may not be qualified to offer an accurate description or recognize a reprint or fake. If you find that rare ungraded gem, look to see if the seller is auctioning other rare ungraded gems. If he is, chances are they are all reprints. Be careful bidding on cards that have no description of the condition, or worse yet, a description that is obviously misleading. Just the other day, I saw a card described as Excellent Plus with an obvious crease through the middle. Always check the photo carefully. A photo may confirm or contradict the seller's description. Be extremely careful with sellers who include blurry or extremely tiny photos that don't give you a good look at the card. Oftentimes, this is an indication the seller is hiding a blemish, crease, or centering problem. This, of course, is not always the case. I have purchased 3 great cards where the sellers didn't include a photo. I got them undervalued, as you would imagine, and they all 3 were in great condition. A 1928 J. Milhoff & Company Bobby Jones received an SGC 86 near mint 7.5 grade. I picked this up for $100. I also picked up a 1951 Bowman Larry Doby that graded an SGC 84 near mint 7 and a T206 Nap Lajoie that is an easy VG card. Needless to say, I checked each of these sellers' feedback closely. All had a high percentage of positive feedback and all specialized in cards. Although there are no guarantees, as we saw with the card switching scandal a while back, the best way to ensure authenticity is to purchase graded cards. When it comes to selling cards, first and foremost, include at least one photo, including multiple photos, and a photo of the back of the card are also a good idea. Supersized photos are appreciated, and gallery photos grab more attention. Always describe the card in detail, and be fair and honest with the condition. I will not bid on any card that doesn't have a description of the condition. This goes with lots as well. If the seller takes the time to list a bunch of great cards, but doesn't add the condition, they are probably lower condition cards, so bid accordingly. Never ship a card in just a top loader. Put the top loader into a team bag, or put some tape over the top. And that tape, I meant painter's tape, because man, I hate Scotch tape. If you don't, the card could peek out the top and get a bent corner. I can't tell you how many times I've received a sharp card with one corner dinged because the seller didn't cover the top loader in some way. If you're going to sell cards on a regular basis, purchase padded envelopes in a wholesale lot. You can pick these up for under 20 cents each when you buy them in quantity. This is much better than using plain old thin flimsy envelopes. Always make sure you insure your items for delivery. Some sellers choose to include additional cards as a surprise gift. Remember, eBayers live and die by feedback. Anything you can do to oversatisfy your auction winners will better your chances of receiving positive feedback. Let's all be responsible and join together to stop bidding on all of these misrepresented items. If these sellers are paying fees and not selling their cards, they will no longer have the opportunity to rip off collectors. Finally, if you see obvious reprints and fakes being misrepresented, report them to eBay. Policing the site is a major task, but with all of our help, we could certainly assist in making eBay a safer place for collectors. A safer eBay is a better eBay, and a better eBay is good for our hobby. If you love collecting as much as I do, you will agree we need to do all we can to protect our hobby and ensure collectors continue to have positive and rewarding experiences. And it's funny because recently I'm still calling for cleanup in our industry because all fraud hurts us all. It hurts the industry as a whole. But that was a fun look back on something I wrote, almost 2 decades ago. So thanks for watching.